See the second question. NEP 2020 is in conformity with Sustainable Development Goal 4. It is intended to restructure and reorient the education system in India. Critically examine the statement. Yeah, please. What would be the framework of this question? Answer. Critically examine. See the tagline, critically examine. Basically, write about the positives of NEP, drawbacks or the lacunae of the NEP, and then conclude on a positive note. Okay, is the framework of the answer clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because it's critically examined. Soumya, you have written only third one. Then Sriram. Sriram, you have written second answer.
Yes.
Okay. Who else was there? Arvind. Okay, I'll do the last question. Sriram, you have written fifth one, Sriram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. I'll do fifth one for you because fifth, I think no one has written. Okay, fine. So basically NEP, its important features, the positives of NEP and the drawbacks or lacunae in NEP, and then conclude. So that is the framework. So basically you can introduce by saying that NEP 2020 is much awaited, okay, is a much awaited educational policy reform, because after 1984 it is happening now. So 36 years. After 36 years, the education policy was changed, and NEP so is a much awaited educational reform, okay, which envisages India to become an education hub and also to tap the demographic dividend of the country. So you can start like that, okay, by overhauling the education system, and then you can straight away come to the come to the positive aspects of the NEP. So what are the various positive issues of the NEP? Okay, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Remember that? It basically,
Yes, sir.
systematically, for the primary and the secondary education, it categorizes the number of years where the child has to stay in certain particular phase of education. So the emphasis is on 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is clearly based on the learning abilities and the development of the child. Okay, so that is a very good way of projecting up to 15 years. And then you can talk about how the higher education is almost being overhauled, like many universities are being asked to become multidisciplinary by 2040. In fact, there was a very good article in Hindu yesterday. I don't know how many of you read. The multidisciplinary of becoming of many universities also is a kind of issue. That is what the article says. Okay, and then it asks the government to spend around close to 6% of the GDP on education. Okay, and then it imposes the primary education to be on the mother tongue. Okay, basically whenever the child is comfortable, basically the child is comfortable in the mother tongue. So it says wherever possible, the child has to get the primary education in the mother tongue. Okay, and then you can write these as positive, and then the gross enrollment ratio with regard to higher education by 2035 is expected to be around 50 to 60% in the higher education. Okay, so all these are the targets set by the national education policy. Okay, so these are the positive aspects of national education policy. So what are the lacunae? One is the language issue. Okay, the language issue was a big controversy, which was of course later withdrawn. So the language of Hindi was a controversy, you can write that, and then it was withdrawn later. Okay, and then national education is pushing a lot on the digital education. Okay, digital India, but at the same time the access to the digital resources in the rural areas, which we popularly called as digital divide, is not exactly addressed. So the national education policy should take into account the digital divide also, because even during pandemic we have seen how people from rural areas have suffered the impact of digital divide. Okay, and then the education policy and invitation to foreign university and all is there, but how to actually implement certain gray areas, like how to bring the foreign universities and all, the national education policy is a little bit silent on that. Okay, and also how to develop the faculty right from the primary education to the higher education, how to bring in proper faculties and teachers, and how to improve their skill sets. This is also an area to be concerned. So these are the lacunae, and then you can conclude saying that yes, NEP is a very progressive and a right step in the direction of implementing the SDG 4. Okay, and if it is implemented in the toto or in the holistic way, it can definitely transform the education system of India for better outcomes, and also and to enable the better usage or envisage the better utility of the demographic dividend. Okay, youth education, their skill set and the demographic dividend are all related. So whenever you want to write about education, okay, or women empowerment or youth empowerment, try to bring in this area of demographic dividend, because India is going to have demographic dividend up to 2040, 2045. So still we have around 20-25 years of time to actually make an impact on the world stage with regard to our demographic dividend. Okay, so only thing is we should not end up it as a demographic disaster. Okay, so that is it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
I think it's Arvind's paper, right? 1986, yeah. Okay. You can directly hit the nail. You can talk about how NEP 2020 focuses. Okay. In the first line itself, don't use shortcut, Arvind. Write national education policy in complete.
Yes, sir.
In bracket, you write NEP, and then thereafter you can use NEP. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, traditional knowledge and modern knowledge, good. Vocational education, yes. I missed this point. Vocational education also, it has a lot of emphasis, and you can write about how degree program can be exited at first, second, third year. Okay, and people can choose their own vocational trainings. You can write that. Okay, knowledge economy, good. Open doors for foreign university, mother tongue based primary education. Good points. Certain drawbacks, yeah, good word. Drawbacks, lacunae, because it's a government scheme. Don't say that failures and all. Okay. Yes, digital divide is not addressed. Anganwadi centers. Yeah. Yeah. There is no proper focus or thrust on the implementation of RTE, right to education. Very good. Okay. Teachers' credibility. Instead of teachers' credibility, you can write about concerned about the teacher skill set. Okay. Please make sure
Okay, sir.
teacher skill set or teachers upgradation. So those are the better words which you can use in the answer. And then in the conclusion, try to bring, okay, in the introduction, you have tried to bring about the SDG 4, but ideally you should bring it in the conclusion and talk about how it is going to improve our demographic dividend and etc. Okay.
Okay, sir.